Finn Phyllis Press Audio presents You Cannot Be Serious and 32 Other Rules That Sustain a Mostly Balanced Mom. This is the author, Elizabeth Lyons. Prologue. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf. John Kabat-Zinn. I consider myself to be a reasonably logical, rational person. Which is too bad, because apparently kids are rarely logical or rational. For example, our 10-year-old daughter recently stapled together my last 95 pieces of printer paper, side by side by side, because she again wanted white bedroom walls after insisting for 2 years that I paint them with green and pink pinstripes, which I painstakingly did 12 days ago. I'm quite sure you cannot be serious, I flatly stated as I continued to fold laundry. With 5 kids ranging in age from 10 to 1, it's not exactly chaos or scream-free around here. You cannot be serious is a common utterance. It's also a mindset and a rule. Rules are critical, and I don't mean for the kids. I mean rules for me. Before I go much further, perhaps I'd better introduce myself in greater detail. After all, one's credentials are important when it comes time to heed her advice, or pay attention at all. For starters, my husband David and I have 5 children. Said children, who are often referenced throughout this book, have both given names and nicknames. Since I go back and forth, I thought I'd provide you with a quick reference. Think of it as similar to, but thankfully not nearly as complicated as, the one required at the beginning of War and Peace. Lyons family Who's Who. Given name Grace, also known as 1 or Boo. Given name Jack, also known as 2 or Big Daddy. Given name Henry, also known as 3 or the Senator. Given name George, also known as 4 or Diego. Given name Nina, also known as 5 or the Bean. Based on an old family photograph I have in my possession wherein I'm sitting, as a mere 3-year-old, amidst a plethora of baby dolls and makeshift car seats, it's clear that I've been preparing for my current role as mother of many for quite some time. Truthfully, the exact nature of how I'm defined changes minute to minute. Wife, friend, driver, lunchmaker, homework enforcer, virgin organic gardener, avid reader, lunatic, shopaholic, world traveler wannabe, hopeful composter, carpenter, hostage negotiator, Heimlich maneuver practitioner, and on and on. If you're a mom as well, I trust that you get this. One thing I can tell you with certainty is that I'm wired to be more than just a mom. I would love to be the woman who bakes and decorates and comforts all the livelong day, but I'm afraid it's not in my genes. I'd like to tell you a story. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, where they actually experience 4 separate and distinct seasons, I received a bachelor's degree in Japanese from The Ohio State University. Let me tell you, I used that knowledge a lot. I subsequently became employed by a major consulting firm for which it was my job to write computer code and then figure out what was wrong with it when it blew up the system. This is how I got my initial training in sleep deprivation, by the way, since most computer systems seem to abend, the technical term for abnormally end, which I'm simultaneously proud and frightened to admit I still remember, between 2 o'clock and 3:30 a.m. When the company caught on that the only code I was ever going to truly understand was a barcode on a sale item at Nordstrom, I transitioned into human resources and acted as the communications lead for the firm's North American diversity effort. This job was, in theory, right up my alley, but didn't take terribly long to prove a most frustrating endeavor for all the reasons you can likely imagine, and many you perhaps cannot. That said, it did lay appropriate groundwork for my future role as mother of many, as I spent my days balancing the unreasonable expectations of colleagues and bosses alike, some of whom I'm quite certain were less rational than toddlers. Growing up, I had big-time career aspirations. International lawyer, doctor, political scientist, National Geographic journalist, they all sounded so exciting. But I nearly failed Bio 101, ixnaying the medical field, and couldn't remember who the 4th president was, rendering politics an equally unlikely choice. I was wondering how I might apply the lessons from my time creating dysfunctional, but diverse, networking groups to a career driving, but not trekking, through the Himalayas when something happened, the ramifications of which I had.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?